MB Friends presents the ENFP, the champion.
In the view of the champions, nothing occurs that is without significance, without profound meaning. And they don't want to miss any of it. ENFPs must experience all the events that affect people's lives, and then they are eager to relate the stories they've uncovered, hoping to disclose some truth about people and issues, and to motivate others with their powerful convictions. This strong drive to speak out on social events can make these champions tireless in conversing with others, like fountains that bubble and splash, spilling over their own words to get it all out. Their enthusiasm is boundless and is often contagious, making them the most vivacious of all the types, and also inspiring others to join their cause. As a variant of Plato's Idealists and Aristotle's Ethicists, the ENFPs are little different from other NFs in most respects. Like all the Idealists, they're abstract in communicating and cooperative in implementing goals. They want to learn about the humanities, are preoccupied with morale, and work well with personnel. In orientation they are altruistic, credulous, mystical, situated on pathways, and with their eye on tomorrow. They base their self-image on being seen as empathic, benevolent, and authentic. Often inspired, they trust their intuition, yearn for romance, seek identity, prize recognition, and aspire to be a sage. Intellectually, they are prone to practice diplomacy far more than strategy, logistics, and especially tactics. Further, having a probing or exploring nature, they tend to prefer the advocate's informative role over the more schedule-minded mentor's directive role. And because of their irrepressible expressiveness, they are more eager to be a champion of causes than a healer of troubled souls.
Like the other NF role variants, ENFPs are rather rare, say 2 or 3% of the population. But even more than the others, they consider intense emotional experiences as being vital to a full life. Champions have a wide range and variety of emotions, and a great passion for novelty, and so can become bored rather quickly with both situations and people, and resist repeating experiences. Also, they can never quite shake the feeling that a part of themselves is split off, uninvolved in their experience. Thus, while they strive for emotional intensity, champions often see themselves in some danger of losing touch with their real feelings. These expressive advocates are fiercely independent, repudiating any kind of subordination, either in themselves or in others in relation to them. Unfortunately, champions constantly find themselves surrounded by others who look toward them for wisdom, inspiration, courage, and leadership, a dependency which, at times, weighs rather heavily on them. In the same vein, ENFPs strive toward a kind of spontaneous personal authenticity, and this intention always to be themselves is usually communicated nonverbally to others, who find it quite attractive. All too often, however, they fall short in their efforts to be authentic. And they tend to heap coals of fire on themselves for the slightest self-conscious role-playing. In their probing way, champions exercise a continuous scanning of the social environment, and no suspicious motive is likely to escape their attention. Far more than the other NFs, ENFPs are the keen and penetrating observers of the people around them, and are capable of intense concentration on another individual. Their attention is never passive or casual, never wandering, but always directed. In fact, seeing life as an exciting drama, pregnant with possibilities for both good and evil. Champions tend to be hypersensitive and hyper-alert, always ready for emergencies, and because of this they may suffer from muscle tension. At the same time, ENFPs have outstanding intuitive powers and often find themselves trying to read what is going on inside of others, interpreting events in terms of another's hidden motives, and giving special meaning to words or actions. While this interpretation can be accurate, it can also be negative, sometimes inaccurately negative, and may introduce an unnecessarily toxic element into the relationship. For instance, champions tend to attribute more power to authority figures than is there, and to give over to these figures an ability to see through them, a power of insight which is usually not there. In this way they can make serious mistakes in judgment. Mistakes which derive from their tendency to project their own attributes onto others, and to focus on data which confirm their own biases.
Despite the occasional misinterpretation, Champions are good with people and make extensive use of their interpersonal powers. They usually have a wide range of personal and telephone contacts, expending energy in maintaining both career and personal relationships. They are warm and have fun with people, and are unusually skilled in handling people. They are likable and at ease with colleagues, and others enjoy their presence. Their public role tends to be well developed, as is their capacity for the spontaneous and the dramatic. They are characteristically positive in their outlook, and are surprised when people or events do not turn out as anticipated. Often their confidence in the innate goodness of life and human nature is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Champions have a remarkable latitude in career choices and succeed in many fields. As workers, they are warmly enthusiastic, high-spirited, imaginative, and can do almost anything that interests them. They have a strong sense of the possible and can solve most problems, particularly those dealing with people. They enjoy the process of creating something, an idea or a project, but are not as interested in the more monotonous follow-through. Once people or projects become routine, ENFPs are likely to lose interest. What might be is always more fascinating than what is. Champions are outstanding in getting people together, and are good at initiating meetings and conferences, although not as talented at providing for the logistical or operational details of these events. They are imaginative themselves, but can have difficulty picking up on ideas and projects initiated by others. If they are to lend their energy and interest to a project, they must make it their own. People-to-people work is essential for champions. They make excellent teachers, ministers, and in general are attracted to the communicative arts, making talented journalists, orators, novelists, screenwriters, and playwrights. In institutional settings they can be gadflies, challenging obsolete procedures and policies. Sometimes they get impatient with their superiors, and they will occasionally side with detractors of their organization, who find in them a sympathetic ear and a natural rescuer. In occupational choice, ENFPs quickly become restless if the choice involves painstaking detail and follow-through over a period of time. Variety in day-to-day operations and interactions best suits their talents, since they need quite a bit of freedom in which to exercise their creativity.
As mates, ENFPs tend to be appealing, gentle, sympathetic, but nonconformist. Since they often seek new outlets for their inspirations, their mates can expect surprises. They can swing from extravagance to frugality, and their home may contain expensive luxuries. While necessities may be missing, they are largely disinterested in such things as domestic maintenance, savings accounts, life insurance, and even ready cash. Champions and masterminds should match up well. Champions, the expressive and probing ENFPs, are much like healers in their crusader phase, fiercely dedicated to meaning in life, and looking into everything of good and evil in the world. Only champions are more outgoing and high-spirited, and more outspoken about their discoveries, not unlike puppies, sniffing around to see what's new and then barking to let everyone know what they've found. Now who would be likely to enjoy the curious, frisky, yet soulful person? Strangely, perhaps, the well-ordered, strong-willed masterminds, often narrowly focused in their concern with planning and directing projects. Masterminds, the highly reserved and well-scheduled INTJs, can find a vital connection to the outside world in the person who knows what's going on. Masterminds and champions should match up best. Wishing to control events, the reserved and scheduling masterminds, INTJs, are probably more systematic than all other types in choosing a mate. Mate selection must be done in a logical and methodical way, with each candidate required to meet certain criteria, or else be quickly dropped. It may well be that the stereotype impugning the rational approach to mating has as its target the thoroughgoing mastermind. In any event, masterminds will rarely go wrong with an expressive and probing champion. ENFP, on the one hand, masterminds and champions speak the same language of ideas and fantasies. INTJs, for all their rationality, have a sometimes secret passion for fairy tales and mythical stories. But ENFPs also complement INTJs significantly, bringing to the marriage an enthusiastic and effervescent enjoyment and wonderment about life. the very antithesis of the tightly focused, thoughtful exactitude of a master of contingency planning. Lastly, in the parenting role, champions are devoted although somewhat unpredictable in handling their children, shifting from a role of friend in need to stern authority figure. While they voice strong opinions about discipline, they may not be willing to enforce their dramatic pronouncements, fearing to lose rapport with their children, and thus leaving it to their mate to follow through. ENFPs can be creative parents, providing their children with all sorts of intriguing experiences. On the other hand, they have little patience with whining or demanding children, and can be quite short with such behavior. In closing, if you have not already done so, it is highly recommended that you view our 3-part video series, An Introduction to the Idealist Temperament. As always, please remember that learning about an individual's temperament is only a starting point, not ending point, to learning about that unique individual.
The source content of this video is Please Understand Me Too by David Gersey. For more information, please go to mbfriends.com.